A quiet day.
Okay, we'll get started. We'll see if anybody else shows up or not.
Remember yourselves.
We're gonna go an hour today. Sometimes people do an hour and 15. We're gonna do an hour today. We'll get it all in though, everything we need. Donna, I've taken requests from everyone else. It looks like you could use some for your shoulders.
Yeah, that's great.
Okay, great. She's like, oh. So this whole week, I'm doing a lot of grounding. Lots of energy up here. I know lots of new schedules and just feeling the influx of energy with all the students coming back, all the extra traffic that's happening. And even if you're in a place that's not Iowa City, where you're not feeling the change of the semester, just that sense that fall's coming. Most of us are getting a lot of cooler weather this weekend. There's been the big heat dome in the Midwest, also brought about by corn sweat, I learned this week, which is a term related to corn contributing moisture, which contributes more humidity in the Midwest. So you can thank corn sweat for our weather, among other things. So things are going to cool down, right? We'll start to feel that shifting into fall energy, which for some people can feel sad, right? Like, oh, back to school pictures again. Oh my gosh, my kids are getting older. Some people can feel exciting, like, yes, bring on the pumpkin spice lattes. Whatever else you're feeling about these transitions, just embracing that. So today we're going to work with good earth elements. So lots of grounding today. We'll work with some breath work as well. And also just work with fluidity. So part of moving through transitions is being able to stay flexible, right? We're not going to get it right the first time. We might forget pickup. We might get the wrong time for something. And just being gracious with ourselves, right? That it's okay. We're working things through, right? We can be like water. We can move through those obstacles. We can stay fluid. We can carve out a path for ourselves as we're going. So that's my intention for our practice today. So we'll take a couple breaths to center. And if you are here, you want to sit up on a blanket or a couple of blocks to sit well. You can allow your knees kind of to come lower than your hips. So for some people, that means just rocking slightly forward on your pelvis. Welcome. And you can rest your hands where you'd like. If you would like more of sort of a grounding posture for your hands, you can bring thumb and forefinger together and just rest your palms on your knees or on your thighs. And just almost imagining like a butterfly fluttering and then landing. Just see if you could softly land right here. And allow the breath to just come in through the tip of the nose. And exhale out of the mouth. If you feel comfortable, just sigh and exhale. Good sigh, never hurt at the end of the week. Invite in another inhalation here, tip of the nose, and hit the door. And exhale and sigh out. As you're just landing here with your breath and in your body, seeing if you can have just a sense of grounding. So bringing that awareness to the parts of your body that are touching your mat. So maybe it's your sitting bones, your shins, or your feet. And consciously, as you're exhaling, maybe you're continuing to sigh, maybe you've closed the lips, just feeling that exhalation elongate. Like a luxurious long breath. If your eyes are closed, keeping them closed as you maybe take a couple shoulder rolls here, just starting to feel into the body a little bit. Maybe you move your pelvis forward and back a little, your torso, and just start to check in here with the body that's arrived on the mat today. Whatever activities happened throughout your week, just allowing them to move through, opening up space for this little window of time. We'll take 3 breaths, just tracking our breath up and down the spine. So as you inhale, draw that breath all the way down to the base of the spine. So tuning in to the base of the spine. And as you exhale, just watch that breath going up and out. So again, imagining traveling up and down that center channel of the body. Inhale. As the crown of your head lifts, you feel that energy pulling down, anchoring you to your seat. And as you exhale, just watch that breath travel up the spine, and just releasing the breath. One more time, maybe your shoulders move with you as you inhale. And as you exhale, join your hands together in front of your heart now. This is called Anjali Mudra, so palms lightly touch. Thumbs might press here into the sternum. If there's any intention that you'd like to set for your practice today, maybe it's just an intention to kind of settle, be present. Maybe it's for more ease or spaciousness, clarity. Or if nothing comes up, that's totally fine as well. As you take a breath in, we'll then exhale and bow your head towards your hands and your heart. And gently release your hands, blink your eyes. You can clear off your mat. And if you have a strap, go ahead and grab it. We'll start on your back and just bring your knees into your chest. Or go into a big good morning stretch. A good afternoon stretch, as it were. Oh, and sounds are welcome. Sometimes you got a big stretch and you're just like, I need to make a sound for this stretch. Oh, just allow yourself to feel your back body on the floor here. Yeah, then you might stay where you are. You might bring your knees in toward your chest and kind of just rock around a little bit. Maybe you make some circles with the knees, bringing in a little bit of mobility through the hips. These are all just suggestions, but do what feels intuitively right for you. And if you do have your knees in toward your chest, just give a couple squeeze and release. You're kind of squeezing through your shins, a little compression through the hips and release. Good, and from here, we'll grab your strap. So go ahead and grab that strap, loop it around the ball of your right foot, or whatever foot you, let's all do the right foot, just so we won't hit each other. Good, and then just press into that strap like you're pressing on a gas pedal. And from there, your left leg might stretch long out to the floor. You might keep it bent. So decide for you which one feels good today. If you're stretching that left leg long, energetically, really press out through that left heel, anchor the left thigh bone down as you're gently straightening that right leg. And then point and flex your toes a couple times with that right leg. Maybe roll the ankle around. Just feeling the sensation through the hamstring change as you are moving the foot. Good. And then from here, we'll grab both straps in your right hand, open your right leg to the right. And a couple of things can happen here. We might just allow that foot to kind of hover over the floor. You can put a block underneath of it if you would like. If your left leg is straight, take your left hand and just press the left thigh bone down and away. And then check in with your jaw. See if you could relax your jaw. Maybe you exhale. Using the strength of your core here and your arms, gently bring that foot back through center. And then we'll take your straps in your left hand. Right leg is going to cross over the center line of the body, come all the way to the left. And then if you'd like, you can release your right arm to the right. So you're here in this twist. Keep stretching out through your foot. For me, I can really feel my IT band here today. See what you feel.
Again, foot might be hovering, you could slide a block underneath of it. And tuning into that breath, coming back through center. We'll pause here, and then we're gonna take this foot just like 30 degrees to the left. So we're gonna move back to the left and then sickle your foot. You know, this is one of my favorites. So you're gonna point your toes and push them in toward the center. Stretch out through the pinky toe edge of the foot. And you can just go over like just enough till you feel stretch maybe in that outer shin. Really nice. Release the strap, release the foot. Do any reset shakes that you need to. And then we'll try the other side. So strap goes over the left big toe mount, and then do a couple ankle circles, pressing. Kind of gives you something to push against there with the foot. Good, and then maybe just working that leg straight so it doesn't have to be super high. See if you could feel your whole pelvis and back of the body really relaxing into the floor. And then bring your straps in your left hand and open the left leg to the left. See if you can re-engage the right thigh. So if that right leg is straight, imagine like very heavy thing with a sandbag on the right thigh. Good. After your next exhale, come through center, bring the straps in your right hand, and then that leg crosses over the center line of the body. Into this gentle twist. Maybe your head, belly, and chest open to the left as that leg is over to the right. Want to bring in that ujjayi breath, that ha sound in the back of the throat as you exhale. Feel free. It's a nice way to just audibly connect with your breath. We'll come back through center and kind of reset at center, and then just bring that foot about 30 degrees to the right. Sickle the foot. So point your toes and then stretch out through the pinky toe edge of the foot. Really nice. Come back through center and just remove the strap, set it off to the side. Take an early pass at happy baby here. So you can grab outer or inner edges of the feet. If this is a really tight spot for you, you can hold behind the knees, but think like a low squat. So you're bringing ankles over the knees as best you can. Yeah, pressing knees down toward the floor as you stretch your feet into your hands. We got this like cat and mouse pull and push action. Right, and when you're ready, you're gonna roll towards one side and come on up to hands and knees position.
And come bringing hands toward the front of your mat. And then we'll just take a couple, like 1 minute here in nonlinear movement. So if you feel comfortable, you can just close your eyes. And the key is just don't stop moving and just tune into yourself. So this might look like more typical cat and cow movements. It might just look like some random creative movements. When we're in the midst of transition or new beginnings, it's easy for us to feel really like we want to clamp down. And see if you could just find that sense of fluidity here. Allowing your breath to help just carve out that space for movement, for non-linearity, for things to be a little messy and chaotic and beautiful. From here, we'll take your right leg out to the right, ground the sole of your foot. Hopefully everybody has enough space for that. Good, so it can just be right at hip height. Inhale through cow pose, so it'll feel different, but try to widen the sitting bones back and apart. And then exhale, round and curl. Really try to pull in through the navel, anchor through there. Good, inhale. Unravel, unfurl. Exhale, round and curl. Good, last time. Good, really exaggerate that cat pose, press down with the hands, fingers are nice and spread. Good, re-anchor through your tabletop. We're gonna do a thread the needle variation with the leg out to the side. So right arm is gonna stretch up and then threading it through. Good. Usually I'm very well confusing myself here. If this doesn't feel good to you for some reason, you can put your knee back underneath the hip, but just maybe explore what this feels like here and thread the needle with that arm out. Yeah, and you might not get the head down, that's fine. Okay, when you're ready, come back out. We don't want any owls. Stretch your right leg back behind you. So keep those toes tucked and stretch it back behind you. Good, left hand comes under the left shoulder, and then we're gonna kickstand the left foot to the left, moving to side plank. So right arm reaches up. Good. And then ground the sole of your right foot. So if your sole of your right foot is not down yet, and you can kick that strap out of the way so you have some stability there. It's not slippery. Awesome. Lift through your hips and then maybe invite the right arm alongside the right ears and see if you can find a side body stretch here. So could you bow out a little bit? Could you lean your head back? Oh my gosh. Beautiful. Inhale, come back through center. Find your reset set position here, and we'll take the left leg out to the side for 3 cat and cow tilts here. Inhale again, just watching the breath carry you. And don't be shy. Inhale. And exhale. One more time, moving with your breath, your pace. Come back through center. If you found last time that the floor was really far away, you can also grab a block here to put your head on. This time the left arm comes up and threading it through. Maybe your head comes to a block or a blanket. So we maybe have a little bit of a groin stretch going on here as well. We've got a big twist. We've got a shoulder stretch. Really nice. When you're ready, inhale, come out the way you came. And then stretch your left leg back behind you and pivot the sole of that left foot down. And kickstand your right foot off to the right, right hand underneath the shoulder, and then your left arm stretches, big wingspan. Really nice, everybody. Then from there, maybe left arm alongside the ear. And then use that bottom arm to push down and spin your chest up a little bit or stretch through your ribs. And good, exhale, both hands come down. Walk your fingertips forward and slide your hips back into child's pose. But we'll do this child's pose variation here with fingertips, kind of stretching the arm bones away from the floor. If your forehead is on the floor, you might rock it side to side. Just get a little sensation there through the forehead. I'm seeing here if you might just exhale into the mat, hearing your exhalation, tuning into the breath. Good. Walk your hands over to the right. So both hands can walk over to the right. And see what you feel right now. If you really want like a big side body stretch, fingertip crawl that left hand even further away from you. And then traction left hip crease back. Like you could totally stretch out that whole side of the body. Walk your hands to the other side of the mat. You can be flat palms or fingertips. And then right hand might crawl even a little further away. And then pull gently, right hip crease back, lengthen. And both hands come forward. We're just gonna slither our way forward to our belly. You get that however you'd like. Good. From here, let's take fingertips outside the mat for funky cobra. Lift up through the elbows and move around. So lots of you are moving neck, shoulders. And just see here if you could find that element of water here. Just allowing, inviting things to move through, not get stuck. And feel like you've stirred things up enough. You can release and bring your left forearm parallel to the front of the mat. Good. Then bend your right leg and swim your right hand behind you for a thigh stretch. If this is too much, you can also roll just to the side of the body and bring the inner heel toward the outer hip. But once you get here, so you could just work that inner foot toward the outer hip, and you might be able to kind of pull back with that arm. Good. Press foot into your hand at the same time your hand is pressing into the foot. Good. And then let's actually grab the ankle and kick the foot into the hand. Okay, so you're kind of flexing the toes and pulling back as much as you can. You might get a stretch through the chest here. A little strengthening through the hamstring. Good. Switch sides. Most of us have a tighter side and a less tight side. Maybe an open side, a more flexible side. You can see which what's feeling on this side. You can lift the chest a little bit, being patient with ourselves, and then you can grab the ankle and kick, 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 kick. Really good. Release. Let's make a pillow with the hands, rest the forehead, and just windshield wiper the legs. See if you can maybe tune into the base of the belly here. Can you take some breaths all the way in? Big diaphragmatic breaths. Full exhalation. Good. From here, keep those knees bent. We're going to wrap the hands around. It's early in the practice, but we're here. Grab the ankles. And just like 80% effort today. Kick into the hands, working thigh bones toward the floor as you lift up the chest just a little bit. You don't have to do it. It's just an invitation, release. Not too much, just 80% effort. If it needs to be 50%, that's fine too. Hands alongside the chest, press up and back. Downward dog. We're all the way this far into class. We haven't done a down dog yet. Let it feel good. See if you bend through one leg and the other, wag your tail a little bit. Let's do a twist here. So walk your feet in a footprint distance to the outer edge of your mat. So we're in a short stance down dog and our feet are wider. And you might even walk in so much so that your heels can ground down. So they're still on your mat. They're just the outer edges of your mat. And you're stepping in. Yeah, great. Push your hips up and back. Right hand grabs anywhere on the left leg as you look underneath the left arm. Really engage strongly through that left arm. Good. Other side, right hand down, left arm, anywhere on the right leg. Both hands down and then walk all the way forward to the front of your mat, standing forward fold and grabbing blocks if you need to for under the hamstrings. Under the hamstrings, for under the hands on behalf of the hamstrings. Right, we want to be nice to our low backs here. So if you want to, just come out of this pose a little bit, everybody. Actually, just like rest on your thighs real quick so you can watch this. Okay, if your low back is higher than your sacrum, so you're kind of like here, we want to think about bending the knees and trying to flatten out the back as much as we can, and then folding. So it might mean that you back out a little bit, but you're not feeling a lot of pulling on the low back. So if you want to try, you can just take hands to blocks, ground through your feet, kind of reach the hips back behind you. Think like cow tilt. Okay, you won't really see it, but think cow tilt. And then just see if you can keep that length as you fold. You might not be able to fold as much, right? But we're going to be really nice to our low back as we're doing so. Really nice. Good, I can see that. All right, from here, bend your knees, ground through your legs. Inhale, come all the way up to standing. Exhale, hands come down through the heart. Right, from here, grab your block. If you're at home without a block, that's okay. Okay. From here, we're gonna take the block and see if you can get to this, but we're gonna flip the palms so they're reaching toward the sky. So you palms up. Yeah. Good. Stretch out through your hands. You're like, what are we gonna do? Exhale, come down into chair. It won't be too hard, I promise. We'll just do this for a minute. Good. Reach up. Did you choose a heavy block? Jenna has the heavy block. Oh my gosh, Luke has the heavy block. You get extra points. Those blocks are heavier. Inhale, reach up. If you're at home with a pork block, this might be like really heavy.
I thought you meant we were gonna hold chair for an actual minute and I.
No. All right, reach your, no. Reach your hands forward. Squeeze your block. Good. Stand up, straighten your legs. All right, we're gonna go back one more time, but I want you to think about, are your knees moving first or your hips moving first? Try to make your hips move first. So sit those back. Really good. Keep your knees where they are. Awesome. One more breath. Squeeze the block. Release. Come all the way down. Good. Set your block off to the side. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, step your left foot back. And release your hands either side of your front foot. Okay, back knee comes down. So if your blocks are at the back or the front, wherever they are, you can have them nearby here. All right, from here, we're going to move to a twist. So left hand comes down, floor of the block, right hand on the right thigh. And just press that thigh down as you twist open. Pin your left shoulder on your back. Good. Again, not overdoing it too much here. Maybe your right arm releases toward the sky. Stretch out that wingspan. After a long week, we got to have some twists. Both hands come on the inside of the front foot. Heel toe your right foot off to the right and find your lizard lunge today. So it might mean forearms on the block. You might walk your back knee in space. But we're finding what's like just enough right here. Where can you find fluidity? Where feels stuck? And where can you send your breath? Where can you send just a little bit of ease and movement? A lot of times in deep stretches, we first get there and our body like clenches, right? We're like, ugh. So it's the patience, it's the breath that communicates to our body, you're safe. Okay. After your next exhale, you can slowly come up and heel toe that foot back in toward the center. Take your hands on your front thigh. Okay. These mats are not super thick. So if you want to, like Elizabeth has, you can put another blanket underneath your knee. So feel free to do that or fold up. All right, let's sink forward into our lunge here and then take your hands behind your back. You're going to fist bump yourself behind your back. Roll your shoulders on your back. It's a fallism, right? Or a summerism. Sink your hips down. Good. And then see from here, could you grow your side body long and then lift your chest up, maybe lift your gaze just a little bit. If you feel unsteady, hug your inner thighs toward one another as you sink, right sitting bone toward the right heel. One more breath. Excellent. Come on up. Hands either side of the front foot, blocks or not. I'm doing a lot of half splits this week. Toes straight up and down. Same thing we were working before. Reach your chest forward. Okay, anchor that heel down. Just melt. Might not feel much like melting, but just imagine the ease. Reach out through the big toe mound. Find another breath, another little millimeter of space to descend into. Okay. And then we're going to gently bring that foot back in, set the foot down. Good. Lift up your back knee. We're going to walk to a wide-legged forward fold. So you're going to walk to the left and turn your toes in ever so slightly. You can take a block with you if you'd like.
Moving to this wide-legged forward fold. Sometimes it's nice to have a block underneath the head. You could either put your forehead there, you could even put top of the head there. There's different heights of the block. Seeing what you need to. And let's see if we can work that same thing with the pelvis. So if you feel really rounded in the low back, see if you could stick your seat back behind you, almost like you could feel those sitting bones moving to the back corners back behind you. And see if you can keep that with the pelvis. Looks good. Exhale. Maybe you find a little more space to fold. Right, if you'd like to join me for a twist, you can take your left hand down, right arm reaches up to the sky, and maybe that right hand comes behind your back. So you pin the shoulder and twist open. Good, and then switch sides. Excellent. Both hands come down and we're going to walk back to the front of the mat. So pivot on the toes of your back foot. You're coming back into that low lunge. And we're going to switch sides. If you have a lot of energy and you want to jump switch your legs, you're going to. Otherwise, you're going to step one and then the other. Did you slip?
No, I did it.
Oh, okay, awesome. I
I
missed it.
tried.
I missed it. We sometimes surprise ourselves. Good. Back knee comes down.
Where my joints creak though, so.
All right, let's move to a twist on this side. So left hand comes down onto the left thigh. Good. Hand can be down on the floor or a block. And then press that thigh down. You're using that to kind of lift and twist open. You can stay right there, or you could open the arm to the side. You're doing great. Release hands down. I don't remember the order we did this, so we're doing this next. Hands on the front thigh. Sink down into your lunge and then fist bump yourself behind your back here. Roll the shoulders on the back. Good. See if you can find that stability through the low body. So you're sinking down, hug your legs toward one another. Maybe you feel steadier there. And then think side body, long, long, long. Lift the chest. You don't have to lift the head, but you might just lift the eyes a little bit or look straight ahead. What's best for your neck. Good. And then release, hands on the inside of this front foot. We'll heel toe the left foot to the left. Really like the alliteration of lizard lunge. I think it's very fun to say. Might be more fun to say than to do. But see if you can find something that feels okay here or feels interesting, feels curious. It doesn't have to be static. And find creativity in your expression here. Just inviting some opening through that hip. Really nice. After your next exhale, you can kind of come out a little bit, prepare for half splits on the sides. You might bring the foot in a little bit. Although actually, if you keep your foot out to the side, sometimes it's easier to come a little deeper, just a different way to work the hamstring. So you can choose which one you'd like today. Toes straight up and down. Yeah, if you really feel like going for it, go for it. But see what you feel to today. Yep. Reach your chest forward. Again, hips move back in space. You're looking really good. There's a tendency a lot of times to want to just drop the head because you feel a lot closer, but we're just extending through. That neck is a nice extension of the spine. Really nice. Drag that foot back in. Foot comes down. Miss anything? Great. Let's go wide-legged forward fold on this side. So turn your toes toward the window. Toes turn in slightly. And this time, if you'd like, you can walk your hands back behind you. So I have my fingertips pointed away from me. You just might walk them back behind a little bit. You could bend your knees. They don't need to be perfectly straight. Yeah, you want to return that block so you have something to rest the head on. That's great. At the same time, you're pressing down through the feet. See if you can pull up with the muscles of your legs. So maybe your kneecaps lift. You're quads are engaged, you're pushing through your feet. Take a breath. Where can you soften? Where can you allow? From here, we're gonna come up a little bit, turn your toes out slightly, and then straighten your legs, come all the way up to standing. And then if your toes aren't turned out, turn them out a little bit. We're gonna take hands to the thighs and come down into goddess, or sometimes called horse pose. Pin your shoulders back and just find a little movement here in this deep squat. If you'd like to, you can drop right shoulder down, look over your left shoulder. Maybe drop left shoulder down, look over the right. Excellent. Come all the way up to standing straight in your legs and turn your left toes straight out to face me and back toe. Set it up for like warrior two legs. So back foot parallel to the back of the mat. Yeah, front foot pointed straight ahead and heel kind of intersecting with the back arch. Okay. Have a block near your front foot as well to support you. Is that your left leg? Yeah. Yeah, reach your arms up. It's been a long week. Bend through your front leg into warrior two. We won't do too much with the legs, I promise. Tuck your right hip or your left hip underneath of you as you sink down. Good. And then left forearm to the left thigh. Spin the right arm up. Stretch, 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 side body. Inhale, come up. Interlace hands behind your back. It's such a good hip stretch. Bend through your front leg. Release into humble warrior, left shoulder on the inside of the left knee. Staying humble in these transitional times. Release your hands, walk them out at the 45-degree angle, and use your fingertips to push your hips back. So good. Walk your hands back towards your feet. Come all the way up. We're just going to stay where we are and switch sides. So turn your back toes for the back wall. Warrior two on this side. Arms stretch out and bend into your right knee. Tuck your right hip underneath of you. Your side angle. Right forearm to the right thigh. Left arm up and over. Some good side body stretches in there. See if you can lengthen your right and left sides out the same amount. Good. Come on up to interlace the hands. You can switch your grip. So thumb and forefingers might all switch sides, all your forefingers, and then fold into that humble variation. This might be a real tight spot. Release the hands, walk them out to 45 degrees, and then press your hips back. And then walk it back, straighten the legs, come all the way upright. Take a step to the front of your mat. Awesome. All right, from here, we'll balance on your right leg for tree pose. Left foot be anywhere on the right. If you want, I don't know, if you're feeling interesting today, you grab a block for your tree pose and you could balance it again like we did. You might balance it on your head. You might balance it on your hands. Now I gotta try my head too. Your hairstyle allows it. Oh, have a sense of humor, hold it with lightness. Really good. We got a swimming tree back here. That's creative. I like it. Stretch it out. We'll try the other side. So build this from the ground up.
And keep your eyes toward the floor. That's gonna help ground and settle you. Yeah, hug in. So outer hips squeeze in. And then you can grow, grow, grow. Yeah, saw that, everybody. And you're done. I don't know. How long can she stay on there with the block on her head? Stretch it out. Really nice. Good. Take the block out to the side. Heel toe your feet out to the side. Come down to a squat. Yeah, grab a drink when you need it. I think we always need a squat after a long week. It's like the hips need a little stretch. You want to twist to the side. Left arm comes on the inside of the knee. Other arm goes up. You want it extra spicy, maybe you add in a bind, wrap the hand around the back. I know some of you really like bind. Oh my gosh, other side. Can also sit on a block, that's an option as well. I will take that option. Hands come down, turn your toes forward and come to a forward fold. Feet can be wide, they can be narrow. You might take ragdoll arms, you might buzz out the lips a little bit here. And see what imagery comes to mind. Sometimes I just imagine like a waterfall, just like wash it all away. Making some space. Really nice. From here, place your hands down, walk back to down dog. Good, and then inhale, set your knees down. So just bring your knees down and then walk your legs forward and through, have a seat. Take your feet to the outer edges of your mat. Okay, so we're gonna do a little bit of hip mobility here. So I just want to make sure that your knees are wide enough that when one knee comes in, it doesn't hit your other foot. Okay, so you can turn your hands like back away from you. We'll just go side to side a few times here. So you're coming inner and outer knee, internal and external rotation in the hips. And next time that your knees come over to the right, they're going to stay there. And then you're going to walk your hands toward the back of your mat. Okay. This is a big twist, but one of my favorites. So from here, you're on fingertips. You might be able to bring left forearm down. I have right fingertips here. Woo. Don't force anything, but see what you can experience with this twist. Good. Inhale, come up. We'll try the other side. So you allow the knees to rock over to the left. Walk your hands that way. Maybe this time right forearm comes down. Unwind. Come back from center. Let's come to crisscross legs, Sukhasana here. Walk your sitting bones back and apart. Take your hands on your knees. And we'll just try to kind of rock around a little bit here. In some different places to orbit. You might bring your head in on the action. Might rock side to side or in big circles. Might bring your ribs in. And then when you're ready, we'll come to a forward fold here. So you're just going to walk your fingertips out and stay again on fingertips or flat palms. Release your head. And then walk your hands back toward your body. Hands are going to come out either side of the body. We'll bring left hand down, right arm reaches up and over. Good, and see if you could really tack your right hip down and then stretch out like someone's gently pulling on that wrist. Good, maybe you're able to take the left elbow down. Don't force it, but just see. And then take your hand behind your head. Lean back a little. Mm. Make your way out. And other hand comes down, arm goes up and over. We're getting into that side body. Can really feel the connection to the hip here as well, at least for me. So left hip, kind of think about making it heavy, even though it might not feel heavy, and then reach up and out. Maybe your right forearm comes down. Then from here, hand comes behind the back of the head. So we could use that to just twist open, chest more toward the sky. Come on up. Let's do a little bit with the neck here. So first, just really gentle, little bit of movement. We gotta be so gentle with the neck. Sometimes I try to stretch my neck and I like end up hurting it more. So just move with careful curiosity. And from here, we'll take left hand on the right side of the head. And with an exhale, see if you could just allow both shoulders to melt down the back. Maybe you experiment with the right hand. Maybe it just crawls a little bit away from the body on the floor here. And we're not pulling on the head. We're just kind of resting the hand there, just like a little bit of an extra weight. And then you can take this hand behind your back. And see if that shoulder could just lengthen the side of your neck a little bit more by just easing down. Remove your hand and then just really gently bring your head back to center and just pause for a minute. Let that kind of settle. When it feels like you're ready, you'll transition to the other side. Every breath, every pose, just an opportunity to just be right here. In our super distracted world, it's just a great opportunity to practice. What's it like to just be curious about right now? Good fingertip crawl that left hand away from you. Maybe take that hand behind your back. When you're ready, you can release the hand and do anything it feels like you need to do. Release through those shoulders. Good. I'm gonna grab that strap. You want to change the cross of your legs. You've been sitting cross-legged for a while. You can change the cross of the legs. You're gonna take the straps behind you. Usually we do the standing. We're gonna do it sitting today. So stretching out through the chest a little bit more. Yeah, sitting up on a blanket is a great option as well. So hands facing me. Elizabeth is reminding me what I always tell people, which is you might want to hold the metal part so it doesn't hit you in the head. So pull, there's a purple strap for you right there too, but you're black.
Oh, yeah, this is.
Okay, great. So pull apart and then we're gonna come forward a few times. And again, you're gonna know what is the right length of the strap for you because it's not too easy. So it's not just like, oh, this is really easy. We're trying to keep arms straight, but you're pulling apart and there's a part where you're gonna be like, oh, that is a stretch. See if you can just move gently forward and back. So allowing this heart space to open. Okay, and next time, we're gonna pause at some spot that feels like it has something to say to you. Might be right behind the chest. Keep pulling with the strap. Ooh, relax the breath, relax the jaw. Yeah. Good, when you're ready, you can release that down. And again, shake it out. Stretch your legs out long. Lean back. Let me show you right there. Bounce, bounce, bounce. Good stuff. All right, let's take the right ankle, cross it over the left. Come into a figure 4 stretch. You can turn your hands away from you and you can walk your hips in any amount. You can be on fingertips. So we're just going through a stretch on this outer front hip. Good. If you're not feeling a lot, just walk it in even more. So you feel something. And from here, we're gonna go to fire logs. So you're gently gonna bring this bottom knee down. So you're stacking on top. Now, for some of us, it's gonna be too tight and you're like, this will not happen. So just straighten your bottom leg. Okay, that's gonna happen. Otherwise, we're going for an overhang with this ankle. So you want to, if you can, get a little overhang. Great. And then the bottom foot, you're either gonna stack, or you're gonna keep that bottom foot in closer to the hip. Okay, so a lot of options here because it's a tight spot for a lot of us. Flex your feet. Okay, yeah, walk your sitting bones back and apart here. I'm gonna start here just with the hands on the thighs. So see if you could just, you're gonna take your thigh muscles and think about turning them out and then pressing down. And then from there, you might be able to lean forward any amount. Yeah. You could just take your hands back behind you. Work on grounding those legs. Excellent. If you're not feeling anything, you can make your shins more parallel to one another and fold forward more. Are you feeling things? Okay, good. Really good. Things. Good. Take another breath. Oh. When you come up, we're gonna grab the sole of the foot with your right hand and twist toward the clock. And we will unwind and we'll switch sides. Back to that figure four stretch. Yeah, and you're controlling the depth of this stretch here. Again, you'll kind of know when you're at a good edge point for yourself. You're like, I feel like there could be some more interesting sensation here. You might walk the hands in. You can even lift up the hips, arch your back a little, think cow tilt, and then sit your sitting bones back down. Notice if you're holding your breath, if you're clenching your jaw, if you're clenching some other part of your body in response. Good. From here, we'll go to fire logs on this side. So trying to keep that overhang with the legs, and then, yeah, just keeping a little bit of muscle engagement. So flexing the feet, bringing the pinky toe edge of the foot kind of closer to the shins can help. Bottom leg can be straight. So either work here, working thighs down, or you can take your hands to your thighs, pressing your thigh bones out and down. Be a good self-assist. What would fluidity look like here? After your next exhale, twisting toward the windows there, left hand on the sole of the foot. And release. All right, one more effortful thing, but just a fun amount of effort, is we're gonna do both with our block on our head again. We did this in my class the other week, and I think I just don't have a very flat spot on my head because I'm not that good at this. Or it could just be my boat. I don't know. All right, but we're gonna see. Oh my God. I feel like, see, there's some people that are always so good at it. All right, you might be able to take your feet out. I need a picture of this. You all look amazing. Right. I like the smiles too. When you're ready, oh, you can release. Take your black with you. Slide it underneath your low back for supported bridge. And choose any height. So the lowest height maybe is less of a back bend. You could take it slightly higher.
seeing here, if you could just consciously relax with as much focus as you put into your effort, what would it look like to have that same amount of just letting go? You want this lower than your waistline, so near your sacrum, so you can slide that block down, just like where you have to rest. It doesn't, you might want to put your block just a closer to your hips, like a little closer to your feet. Yeah. And if you'd like, you can also experiment with just floating the legs to legs up the wall variation. This is such a great thing to do after a long day, a long week. Imagine here the breath coming in through the soles of your feet. Traveling all the way through the legs up to the crown of the head, and exhale from crown of the head all the way down through the feet. If there's any other poses you'd like to do, can feel free. Maybe you want to go back to that happy baby, another supine twist. Wheel pose, bridge pose. Just give yourself a minute to tune in, see what's calling to you. And everything feels pretty complete. Decide how you want to set yourself up for Shavasana. If you want an eye pillow, a sandbag, bolster. Well, nothing to bring you whatever you'd like. Touch my eye. You have to bring something. Just make sure no props are touching you. Give yourself permission to make any final adjustments, just to really sink in. Long week, long day. Just allowing yourself a few moments to surrender, relax, receive.
Allowing your awareness to start to come back. Being really mindful of this transition, moving really slowly, maybe small movements through fingers and toes. Maybe stretching out. Eventually making your way to your right side. When you're ready, press up into a seated position, joining your hands together in front of your heart. During really busy times, it's so easy to let go of our practice or other things that help support us. Just feeling some gratitude to yourself for finding a way to be here today, for prioritizing this little pocket of time to help recharge, reset yourself for the weekend ahead, whatever measure of flexibility and groundedness you need. With that, we'll take a breath in together. Exhale, bowing your head towards your hands and your heart. So much gratitude, everyone. Thank you for practicing with me on this Friday afternoon. If you're ready, you can release your hands. Blink your eyes open. Right away, on to the next thing. Thank you for coming, everybody. I teach Monday mornings at 9 usually. Thanks, Cindy. Thanks, Karen. I'm glad you liked it.